Okay, so welcome to the JDC West 2022 marketing case presentation sponsored by the Associates. Thank you to our judges, Joash Thomas, Karen Ilchena, Ariel McGill, and Genevieve Peugeot. Competitors will have a maximum of 20 minutes to present. Immediately following the presentation, judges will have a total of 5 minutes to ask the presenters questions. Competitors, you will see Zoom chat notifications at various intervals to indicate the remaining time. Any speaker who continues to speak after the maximum time limit will be stopped. No questions or comments will be permitted from the audience. All judges are asked to have their microphones muted during the presentation. The audience is banned from any material or naming convention that bears the name or the symbol of a competing university. We ask that the audience leave the Zoom call immediately following the presentation. And judges, please stay on this call until I advise you to move on to the next call. And competitors, you may begin your presentation.
I'd like to let you in on a little secret. Locally sourced Canadian chicken. Now I'm talking about Mary Brown's, and we are so excited to share with you our strategy to unlock that secret for the rest of Canada. My name is Sarah, and I am joined by Anthony and Amber. Together, we are Acorn Consulting. Now, the key question that we've identified is how can Mary Brown's conquer the quick service fried chicken category and become this staple franchise that is top of mind for Canadian consumers? Now, to really hone in on this key question, we have come up with 3 key issues. First is the highly saturated market. Second is shifting consumer behaviors. And third is maintaining that ethical growth as we look to the long term. Now, to address these key issues, we are so excited to share Unlocking Canada's Best Kept Secrets. Now, this is comprised of 1, identifying the key, 2, uncovering the secret, and 3, claiming the heart. Through these recommendations, there will be a net promoter score of 80% and higher, ROI of 70%, and gross profit of 66 million. Now let's get started with analysis and really understand what is holding Mary Brown's back. First is the highly saturated market. There are so many competitors in this space vying for their spot to win the chicken sandwich war. You need to differentiate and be number 1. Second is the shifting consumer behaviors, especially during COVID-19, when there's a shift towards delivery, pickup in off-store locations. Third is maintaining ethical growth, especially with those considerations coming about during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, as we go through our analysis today, I'd really like to highlight a key opportunity that we are missing out on, and that is crucial in order for us to beat the market and beat competitors. We're currently serving family founders, but we need to be serving our downtown dashers like our consumer, Jamie. Now, Jamie is a 22-year-old individual living in downtown Vancouver. She commutes to the office and really values those convenient experiences. She misses home and finds comfort in foods like fried chicken and the ones that really remind her of home. Now, Jamie is someone we really need to capitalize on as we go through our analysis and recommendation today. Now let's look at how we can really stand apart for Jamie with competitors. Now, you're still a secret and consumers don't know your identity. It's not being leveraged. It's so crucial that you resonate with consumers and leverage some of your core values, like your Canadian sourcing. Now, to really hone in and capture Jamie, we've identified in industry analysis that TikTok is the way to go. TikTok yields higher rates of engagement, even more than Instagram. It really creates those emotional connections, which are crucial when you want to resonate with consumers with your brand. The key takeaway with this is that you need to personify your Canadian brand and drive online engagement through TikTok to stand apart from those other competitors. And now that we've stood apart from those other competitors, how do we really tailor that consumer experience for Jamie? Now, we know that there's a huge shift towards mobile apps for pickup and delivery options. So we wanted to take a look at the mobile app and see what consumers are saying. We've identified a crucial key pain point in that consumers are stating that the app does not allow them to place their orders. This is creating extreme barriers that are inhibiting your growth with pickup locations and that are totally taking consumers out of the customer journey and funnel. It is so crucial that you mitigate this mobile app and really allow consumers to go through it seamlessly. Now, looking forward and see how we can apply this even further to our downtown dasher like Jamie. Jamie values that convenience, especially when she's traveling throughout downtown Toronto. However, as we see on a comparison of Google Maps, your locations are not being leveraged in those downtown Toronto areas. Locations like Popeyes are so much more situated in these areas where consumers like Jamie are situated. We're losing out on that advantage and really not catering to those urban centers. We're losing out on Jamie. The key takeaway with this is that we need to embed ourselves and meet Jamie where she's at. We need to offer service in undercapitalized downtown areas and optimize our mobile orders. And as we look through the long-term growth, we can't forget about growing sustainably. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, there have been complexities with quick service restaurants, raising questions over ethical operations. We need to be proactive in addressing this and really connect with our consumers. We need to show them that we care and that we'll get through it with them. We've identified a social opportunity that will really resonate with your consumers, and that is food insecurity in Canada. Now, the key takeaway with this is that in order to grow ethically in the long term, you need to proactively engage with consumers in social initiatives that are directly tied to their hearts. Now, we've gone through a lot with our analysis, but let's take one last look at Jamie, our downtown dasher. We've identified 3 key pain points that can really help us consolidate and look at the recommendation we need to follow. First is that with our awareness, where we've seen the takeaway in that we need to leverage our TikTok channels. As well, there's also the desire where your Canadian identity needs to be leveraged to create that desire for Jamie. Third is that action where Jamie needs to be able to seamlessly place orders through her app and be able to access you very seamlessly in her day-to-day journey. Now, through our analysis, we've identified all these opportunities, and Amber will now take you through our alternatives and ultimately address our recommendation.
Thank you, Sarah, for walking us through the analysis. Now, from your analysis, it has helped us come up with 4 alternatives analyzed on their exposure, differentiating factor, long-term growth, and financial feasibility they'll bring for Mary Brown's. The first alternative we have is expanding your product line to such as products as beef burgers. This could be a good opportunity for your long-term growth. However, the risk is the possibility of brand dilution, as well as it's currently not financially feasible at this moment. The second alternative that we consider is implementing in-person experiences in your stores, such as events and workshops. This is a great way to help you differentiate from your competitors, as well as cost-effective. However, we decided that because of COVID-19 implications, as well as the lack of exposure it will bring, that we will not be going with this alternative. This brings us with our third alternative, brand personification, and this is creating Mary Brown's a new persona, as well as a new social media campaign launch to go with it. We decided that this would be an optimal way to help you differentiate yourselves from your competitors, as well as increase your brand awareness. For our final alternative, we have considered opening food trucks, specifically located in downtown urban core areas. We decided from our research tells us that food trucks are an optimal way to help reach the downtown core consumers, like the downtown dashers that we are targeting today. This leaves us with our 2 strategies that we'll be focusing on. Now, before I dive into our recommendation, let's go back to our key question. How can Mary Brown's conquer the quick service fried chicken category and become a staple franchise that is top of mind for Canadian consumers? Now, I'm so excited to introduce to you our recommendation, Unlocking Canada's Best Kept Secret. Our recommendation will consist of identifying the key, uncovering the secret, and claiming the heart, each addressing the 3 key issues we have identified. With our recommendation, you will have elevated Jamie's awareness, desire, and action touchpoints. We can imagine Jamie first coming across Mary Brown on TikTok, a new channel we will be introducing. Interest grows as Jamie watches taste tests of chicken sandwiches on the app, and our new persona that we'll be introducing, Mary Brown herself, will help amplify Jamie's desire as to help employ that Canadian identity and branding many strives will have. Secondly, the Second part is to ensure that our food is accessible to Jamie, as well as her loyalty is ensured through our new CSR initiative. Now let's dive deeper into our first strategy, and this is identifying the key. Everyone, I am now pleased to introduce to you the new face of Mary Brown's Chicken, everyone's favorite internet grandma, Mary Brown herself. Now let's get to know Mary Brown a little bit more. Mary Brown is an eccentric, playful, and is on a mission to help Canadians experience delicious. She prides herself as an ultra Canadian, where she embodies the friendly Canadian archetype and really has that national pride where you can always see her Canadian flag pin proudly on her, and she might say sorry one too many times. We can describe her as TikTok's wholesome elder, where she's always looking to making sure that her Canadians are fed and happy. And being socially responsible is no doubt a must, as she prides herself in being a good role model who will speak up and on social issues. Lastly, you'll be leaving with the impression that Mary Brown is not a regular grandma, but she's a cool grandma, meaning that she is up one with the trends. Her responsibilities as the face of the brand include modeling for photo shoots and acting in commercials and our social media videos and campaigns. For the release and the introduction of Mary Brown, we'll have the Mary Brown Takeover. And this is where she'll introduce herself through a series of videos and posts where she'll be taking over the social media platforms as the new face. Now that we have built up a brand, the impact of this is that the Mary Brown persona differentiates Mary Brown from the competition and adds a newfound connection to the Canadian identity. Now that we built up our brand identity, we can evaluate how you can create an engaged following on TikTok. Tactics that are essential for building an audience include hiring a designated content creator team to ensure that consistent uploads are happening, as well as interaction with comments. We have your current state and the future state of what your account will look like after implementing our tactics and strategies. Video ideas that we want you to capitalize on is behind the scenes with Mary Brown, our new persona, as well as utilizing trending sounds and challenges and skits with Mary Brown herself to really showcase her loving Canadian personality. These strategies were based on a case study on Laneige Skincare, where they used a very similar approach to help grow their TikTok viewership to almost 4,000% increase. And Laneige isn't the only company that has utilized TikTok the past 2 years. The past 2 years, hundreds of companies and brands have joined in on the TikTok craze because of the engagement growth it yields. To further promote our brand, we'll be implementing the Mary Brown Hunt. This is our TikTok campaign. This is going to be a scavenger hunt where we'll have the figure Mary Brown hide $50 to $100 gift cards over 30 days in Toronto, Winnipeg, Calgary, and Vancouver around notable Canadian landmarks. How this will actually be happening is because unfortunately we won't be able to fly out Mary Brown herself to each location. We'll be having our franchisees record and be responsible for hiding each gift card, as well as we'll invite Canadian influencers to help in on our campaign. This will happening in February 2022, as well as National Chicken Month, where we'll bring back the campaign. A crucial component of the TikTok campaign is that we'll be posting on all social media platforms, your existing ones like Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, to announce the start of the hunt to really funnel that audience into our TikTok page. This idea was inspired by Ontario student Benjamin, who garnered hundreds of thousands of views and followers on TikTok last year when he hid $10 to $20 bills around Toronto. His goal was to get people outside during the pandemic and help out strangers in a time of need. This is the same type of increased engagement that we can bring. The impact of utilizing our new channel TikTok is established, and Downtown Dashers are now more connected while increasing engagement and desire to eat and have Mary Browns. Next, we have uncovering the secret, and this is the strategy to make Mary Browns accessible for everyone. We understand from analysis that Jamie wants to order Mary Browns. However, it's currently inaccessible to her due to it being too far away. That's why it's crucial to bring Mary Browns to Jamie through our Mary Brown's Chick Trucks. This is where there'll be a select best-selling items from Mary Brown restaurants from the food trucks located in downtown cores, Toronto, Winnipeg, Calgary, and Vancouver. Not only will this initiative help reach the lucrative downtown dashers, but will also serve to use to collect information on the viability for permanent locations in the area for the future. The second part of uncovering the secret of Mary Brown's is to hold a meeting urgently with Smooth Conference, the third-party software program that helps you build your app to address the issues that we have identified in our analysis, identifying those negative reviews, fixing those bugs, creating a contingency plan, and announcing via our communication channels of the new updates that have been done. The impact of this recommendation is that Jamie can finally order Mary Brown's with ease and efficiency, reaching the action touch point. Our final strategy is a partnership with Muleshare, and this is to grow ethically. Muleshare is a Canadian-based award-winning social enterprises that offer buy one, get one restaurant charity programs focused on helping ending youth hunger. Notable partners include A&W. The tactics that will be used by integrating Muleshare is we'll be having it implemented into our loyalty program. This is where every 10th order that you place on our app, that will equal 1 Muleshare donation and 1 meal to a child in need, as well as additional meals to be paid. At the end of each year, we'll have social media posts as well as small bite-sized video content reporting the meals we donated, top donors, and showcasing in local and international charities we have partnered with. From this initiative, we have unlocked a new secret, and that is the human advantage, the power of what community can do when working together, where the family founder, Alex, feels like he's supporting a socially responsible company when Muleshare is donating, capturing his heart. Now, we presented with you many exciting ideas that come with the strategy. It may seem daunting, but let me assure you, Anthony will now walk you through how to successfully implement our recommendation.
Thank you, Amber, and thank you, Sarah. So we walked you today through the key challenges that you're facing, as well as presented you with some key recommendations, some comprehensive ideas as to what you can do to bring Mary Brown forward as a staple in the fast food industry. Now follows an equally comprehensive implementation strategy. Now let's talk about what you can do when you get back into your office on Monday morning. The first step will be to communicate the proposed campaign to all the key stakeholders and ensure that you've attained the buy-in from everybody involved. The second step will be to ideate and begin assembling that content team, like we previously mentioned, will be crucial to the development of specifically that social media campaign that will be spearheaded by Mary Brown herself. In the third step, we have reaching out and consulting with your app developer, Smooth Commerce, and really clearing out any bugs that the app currently faces, because it is introducing friction to the seamless experience that consumers should really have when they're interacting with your brand. Let's dive a little bit deeper into what the first implementation strategy is. How can we identify the key? Let's personify and begin campaigning to really bring this brand to consumers. With 3 steps: plan, find, and create, we'll be ideating the team of creators that will develop this campaign for you. We'll be developing the persona that you need behind the brand, who will be engaging in conversation with the public, and ultimately creating the content that will keep this audience engaged for time to come, really celebrating what chicken means to Canada. With respect to milestones, we'll be assembling that content team as a key priority, as well as finding the face of your brand, the Mary Brown persona. With a KPI of a net promoter score above 90% by the 4th quarter of 2022, we'll really drive our campaign home, making sure that we're sticking by the metrics. Some very important key stakeholders here will be your executive, the social media manager that we have identified you need, as well as your VP and CMO of marketing, Jeff Barlow himself, as well as the face of the brand, Mary Brown. Now, looking at uncovering the asset, our second implementation strategy, we've identified 2 key prongs that you need to pursue. Like it was previously identified in recommendation, you need to fix the app. You need to really create a seamless experience, get rid of the bugs, and this is where you need to leverage that partnership that you have with your app developer. Second, you'll have to roll out and really plan to see how you're bringing the brand to your consumers. A key aspect here will be really catering the food trucks and preparing them for the journey they're about to embark on, as well as those who will be in it. Ultimately, you'll be developing the brand in these key cities that you're bringing the trucks to. And some milestones that we want to make sure that we adhere to are enhancing the app, rolling out a new version, and addressing any shortfalls that it may have. We have other milestones, but allow me to take you through our KPIs, which are very important considering that we'd be prioritizing the app. We want 500,000 app downloads by the fourth quarter of 2022, as well as ranking top 10 in food and drinks category in both app stores, Android and iOS. You've reached the 8th place before when it was originally launched, but you currently stand at number 38. Looking at the third prong of our recommendation, claiming the heart of your consumers so that they can unlock, so that once they have unlocked what it means to be engaged with your brand, Mary Brown, they can really feel supported, as well as the fact that they will be supporting through you in an enhanced collaborative effort to support the community around them. So with 2 prongs to propose, initially reaching out to MealShare and creating that CSR initiative that will not only support you as a brand as you continue to grow in a sustainable manner, but it will integrate those around you who have supported you from your original foundation, your Canadian consumers. We have the milestone to finalize that partnership, as well as addressing the KPIs. We've also clearly detailed here, looking at the total available market, the serviceable available market, and the serviceable obtainable market, what you can really do considering your market share and revenue, as well as the cost that you will be assuming. We've also targeted a profit of $66 million with a return on your investment of 69.8%. We've identified some key risks, but we'll be happy to leave those for the question period, and please feel free to bring that up. I'd love to address them. So to give a quick summary, today with our presentation unlocking Canada's best kept secret,
I'm going to have to stop you there. The presentation portion has now concluded.
Thank you.
We do have to move on to the Q&A now. So anybody have any questions? Oh, Karen?
Maybe you can take us back to the financial page and just give a really quick synopsis to that page, if you don't mind.
Sorry, what was your question?
Maybe just give us, because we went through it so quick, just maybe just give us a really quick rundown where
Certainly.
you see the major costs.
So the major cost will be primarily supporting that persona that will really drive the face of your brand, as well as rolling out these trucks, because we want to bring the brand to the people. Ultimately, we did identify that you should pursue slightly higher than the proposed advertising expenditure. So we've adhered for those costs. Another consideration that we took was the salaries of the new people that you will be employing and the core factors that will be supporting your team, such as the content creator, as well as the truck drivers and the chefs.
I have another question.
Yeah, go ahead, Karen.
Where are you going to find Mary? Have you thought about, is it going to be a contest across the country to find us our Mary, or how do you see the Mary part rolling out?
So in really finding a Mary that is really aligns with the Mary Brown brand, we're primarily looking for actors that will really personify and be able to identify and share what we look for with Mary. So it'll be through acting.
Ariel?
Yeah, great presentation. Just one question. I know you pretty much focus exclusively on TikTok with for the social media. What was the reason you decided to not put any resources towards some of the other more traditional platforms?
We decided to utilize TikTok specifically because of the high trends and engagement rates that has pulled in the last 2 years, specific to Jamie's age range, which is 18 to 35-year-olds, as well as when we were analyzing your other social media accounts like your Instagram, we acknowledged that you have done a well done job so far, and TikTok was the account where we really saw we could came in and improve on.
Genevieve?
Yeah, thanks for a great presentation. My question is about, well, the food trucks might address this, but in the case, I guess there's a willingness to want to open restaurants with drive-through accommodation, which of course, as you started to speak about this person in downtown Toronto, I recognize that's probably less possible. And I assume that is how you mitigated that. But if that is still something that Mary Brown's wants to look at doing, if we're focusing only on these highly dense areas like Toronto, that isn't possible in this plan. Have you thought about what that might look like for the drive-through scenario?
Thank you for your question. And yes, we did. So it was previously addressed in your current PR communications that when you're looking for real estate, you're not looking for locations that will really convey what the brand is all about, but it will also be an accessible way that consumers can come in and engage. So you're prioritizing the indoor dining experience with also really making sure that there is enough space for your drive-throughs. The way we ideated the trucks was to bring the brand to the consumers. However, you as a brand and as a company are more than prepared to welcome back all these customers when we're able to return to the pandemic and are currently servicing digitally.
Okay. Don't think we're going to have time for another question. So yeah, with that being said, I guess we'll wrap up the Q&A. Thank you so much. And judges, whenever you want to head on to the next call, MO8.
Thank you, Ariel. Sorry, thank you, Ariel and Genevieve, Jay, Josh, and Karen for your time and your morning to watch your presentation. Have a great day.
Thank you.